Hello, everybody. This is JD again. Today I'm going to talk to you about a little bit of the world politics, just to give you an idea of what's going on. Okay, people don't understand that Putin and the president of Russia is trying to build the Soviet Union back up. They're trying to put Russia back to where it becomes, quote unquote, a superpower. That's what they're working on. But the United Soviet Union is gone, and Russia is going to do everything in its power to make it. The Cold War is really worse now than it's ever been. Our politicians don't see it. They need to understand that Russia is still the Soviet Union. They want to dominate the area of the world like they have been. But it can be stopped. There's one thing that can stop them, and not a shot has to be fired. First, we have to realize the Cold War is still on. Secondly, our troops in NATO that are in Europe are not assisting in the Cold War anymore. Germany is not split with Russian troops in there. And we have some new allies. Stable European type countries that will only remain stable as long as we realize the truth about Russia. Bottom line is, Russia doesn't want war with the United States, but it wants its own territory back. It wants the Soviet Union back. It wants its power back. And it can force that to happen. As long as we look at the world like it was in the 50s and the 60s. Understand that the world is different. We have a lot of allies, and we need to utilize our allies to the maximum, just like other resources. Leaving 300,000 troops in Europe is not the answer. These new young nations that broke away from Russia, that are our allies, that we do exercises with, we need to move those 300,000 troops. If we had 50,000 troops in Georgia, Russia would not have gone into Georgia because they would have had to meet 50,000 American troops. In those other countries that are breakaway, that are our allies, that are applying to NATO, if we had troops inside, American troops inside, Russia would not do the things to them that Russia is doing. Russia would not threaten. If they knew we were as serious as we should be. When it comes to the world politics, talking is nice. But let them know, though we're against war, we are not afraid of war. There's a big difference to being against war and being afraid of war. And we will use war as the last resort. But we must be always ready. And once they know that we are serious, then Russia will stop what they are doing. But right now, the world is in a very unstable condition. Very unstable. And the chances of war is a lot greater now than it's ever been. Russia has already threatened again. What the United States should do is put in a large amount of troops in Georgia. And then while they're there, have the Georgians go and remove the checkpoints in Georgia that the Russians put up and send those soldiers home. That will stop what Russia's doing and stabilize the whole area. Not go into Russia, no, but go into Georgia, our ally. If you looked at when they were doing the rallies at the city capitol and waving all those Georgian flags, did you notice the largest flag there? Did you see which flag was the largest one in the center of the whole crowd of flags? You had the Georgian crosses waving all over the place, and a few other small flags. And then in the center was this great big stars and stripes. We need to maintain peace throughout the world. To maintain peace, we need to have a positive and a definite action. Not one to start a war, but not one afraid of war. We need to be strong in the world. We need to look at our troops in Japan. They don't need to be there no more. We need to look at our troops in Germany and France and Italy. They don't need to be there anymore. They need to be moved. Moved to Poland. Moved to Uruguay. Moved to Georgia. Moved to these new countries that are stable, economic, European-type countries. To let Russia know, yes, we are as serious about Russia today as we were when they were the Soviet Union. They will not and could not and will not be permitted to act as the Soviet Union did. They will respect their neighbors and their territories. We don't have to do any fighting. We just need to relocate our troops throughout Europe. Relocate our troops out of South Korea. Take our troops out of Japan. Remove them. Japan will never be an enemy to the United States ever again. We don't need 100,000 troops in Japan. And Japan can take care of itself. France, Europe, we have a problem. And we could end up in a major war if we don't do the right things right now and stop the bear from attacking the innocent countries around them. They know they have the military might, and they know that they cannot stand up to them. But Russia does not want to confront the United States head on. That it will not do. And that is our stance. We will confront Russia head on if it needs be. So yes, the world is not a nice situation. And we need to look at it and understand that these allies of ours, these new countries that are very European style, can be very peaceable, very relaxing, and enjoy the freedoms that they have when they broke away from the Soviet Union. But it can only be done with a solid, strong ally between us and them, and we need to move our troops that are sitting around in Europe doing nothing more than propping up the European economy and send them to where they could sit around and by their presence will maintain peace throughout the world. And that needs to be seriously looked at. Our world situation is not the same as everybody is hunky-dory and nice. It is very serious, and understand the Cold War is far from over, and it's a lot hotter.